of the Museum franchise, starring one of our favorite actors, Ben Stiller, as the main character throughout the films.
Well, technically, since we're still in the year of 2006, we're going with the first one, and then when we go to 2009, we'll go with the second one, and so on and so forth. But yes, it is a great start, nevertheless.
How did you get introduced to Night of the Museum, the first one?
Oh, well, yes, the first one, yes. Of course, yes. It was still in the year of 2006 where I was just watching whatever it is I wanted. And I do remember from the DVD of the sneak trailer of Night of the Museum on there. And when I eventually watched it, I was like, I do like this. The idea of this, this guy who becomes a night guard at the museum, and everything in the museum comes to life only at nights, and I like that. It's very imaginative.
It's like I'm taking elements with gargoyles a little bit, because of course they're frozen at day but awakened at night. So
exactly, interesting perspective.
Yeah, I don't remember how I got introduced to it, but I was 5 when that movie came out, because I was 5 in 2006, so I'm not really sure what year I actually watched it, but I think it was on cable when I watched it before. But I do remember, the old, so famous Easter Island head, which we'll talk about who's voicing that guy in a little bit, but yeah, I like that character, gum gum, nom 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 nom.
Yeah, memories. Let's see. Okay, so we're on the best of whatever, however it made it special, and okay, the best out of everything. Okay, well, I guess this is one of those many instances where I got to learn about divorce, since Larry is a divorced man trying to, be the best that he can to provide for his son Nicky, and trying to find as good a job for Parent Career Day, which I thought was interesting as well. And once he eventually did get the job, it seemed pretty cool at first, with him goofing around, making all these loud noises until everything just comes to life.
So you learned about divorce through this movie?
Well, yeah, I kind of did.
Wow, that's wow. Anyway, yeah, it's been so many years since I've seen the first film, but it's still one of my childhood favorites. So many characters on the cast, and let's not forget the skeletal dinosaur, T-Rex,
same difference, even though, yeah, you guys be specific with, you're not wrong, you got just specific with the species, and yes, I think Rexy is kind of the reason why I mostly like the Night of the Museum movies and junk, and that's the most cool thing. The CGI, mostly with most of the characters, is just pretty phenomenal to see, and yeah, even though we'll get closer to the characters in a sec, I just gotta say, yeah, the first film, it kind of reminded me of this one thing where not really all the characters get along at first, except for Larry and Theodore Roosevelt, but we'll get into that later. I'm just saying, not everyone gets up on the wrong foots, and then later on, as either the show or the movie goes on, you start to get along better,
Right.
Oh, and for you, anything from your side of what it is to behold?
I love how his perspective, kind of besides the gargoyles, like I mentioned, there's the werewolf situation. Of course, you're human by day, but when the moon is full, you're a werewolf. So it's kind of like that, almost.
Almost, got it.
Yeah, and yeah, not many kids going to museums because they're boring, we like to get shot. But if they see this film, they would be so astounded. You know what I mean?
Oh yes.
And yeah, it's one of the instances how I got introduced to certain actors was younger, there's a certain one I got introduced to, and then I got introduced to him years later. I will talk about this actor in a little bit, but yeah, this movie and the rest, yeah, I really like the whole franchise. It's just really great.
Let's see, another thing, of course, aside from Pixar, which I did. No, wait. We did mention like Toy Story franchise way back and stuff, and I guess this is one of these other incidents where we got to learn much more about how twist villains work, because at first Cecil was just so, inviting to bring in Larry in on this, but it all turns out it's just some big plan. I mean, like, it's just some evil ulterior motives from the bad guys about like how the museum runs, and yeah, that was shocking.
And I just found out through the cast that he's the same guy that played in Mary Poppins, Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, and I was shocked to know that he's still doing like some good stuff still to this day.
Yeah, and he's still alive and well, in his 90s, no doubt.
And okay, right. One other good thing. Okay, yes, I believe the best thing for me is, of course, them learning how to work together in order to stop Cecil. But the number one is, of course, the big party at the end. That's always my favorite scene.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And let's not forget the slapping scene between Larry and Dexter the monkey.
Of course, yes. And unfortunately, it's kind of a little bit awkward, because when me and my sister were one time just fighting at one point, and this was around the time where, of course, I just couldn't stop mimicking and saying stuff from TV as most kids do, but I just kind of took it a little bit too much, and I said, she's been pushing me, and I'm sick of it. And my dad was amused, my mom wasn't.
Oof, I bet your mom grounded you, right?
She didn't really ground me. She just didn't like how I just talked about cartoons way too much.
I see. Well, it's okay. You're just trying to be funny and stuff, so, what can you do?
Well, I mean, not really funny, just, I really had a problem when it came to cartoons. Like, everything that I saw, I replicated, and it get me into trouble, and that's how I just kind of like shied away. That was before I didn't realize that even though whatever you see, animated shows, movies, things, even though they may be animated, they just need to be taken, as masterpieces, like, because they tell stories, they can relate to real life and everything. I just didn't understand yet.
When I was younger, like around like 2014 and stuff, like of course I was a big Jeff Dunham fan. I was like a mimic, like how Peanut makes fun of Jose, like the thing. I sometimes do that, but I grew over that years ago. I mean, I still watch Jeff Dunham, but I just don't mimic it anymore as I used to. So I'm over that phase. So.
Oh yes, don't get me wrong. Like, of course, like, animation still is good for most things, especially in voiceover and stuff. That's mostly how I just do. I just somehow, whenever I just talk to myself, I just do that to practice voices and everything. So.
Yeah, just be very cautious of what you say, especially around your parents.
Oh, definitely. Oh, and well, I guess one good thing from the movie, of course, I remember, is when, let's see, Jedediah and Octavius, Octavius, they were spearing Cecil's car to air out the tires, and every single time they just jump back and forth with what you see and what you don't see, like, ah, and then ah, it's funny. Don't you remember that part?
No, like I said, it's been several years since I've seen the first movie, so, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh, okay. Let's see. What other thing? Oh yeah. Oh right. This is one of those other type of times where whenever you see the trailer and then the movie, it's all different. Let's see. Stuff from the trailer. Let's see. there was that blue whale that burped at Larry, but in the movie it actually squirted water at Cecil. And let's see what else.
I wonder why they changed it.
Yeah, it's weird.
And that's why I don't like. I mean, I get what they do with the trailers, but I don't like how like they don't incorporate the stuff from the trailer in the movie.
Well, yeah. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it takes you off. But I didn't really bother.
Exactly. Like in Wreck-It Breaks the Internet. Remember in the trailer it showed like the one as a little girl, of course, just as a regular little girl, like playing some app, and then Ralph was being or the cat, or the I think it was the bunny, the pancakes and exploded, she screamed. That didn't show until it was used as an end credit scene.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really call that to be some kind of cop-out, maybe. I mean, at least they just kind of like stay true to it. And like, it'd be wrong if it wasn't shown at all. I mean, I guess that doesn't really technically count.
And I remember that end credit scene where they're about to show a Frozen 2 trailer, but it showed Rick Ralph scene Never Give You Up.
Yeah, called Rick rolling, or in this case, Ralph rolling.
Or Rick rolling, if you know what I mean.
Oh, right. That's even better. But nevertheless, I think I said my side of the good things. And what about you?
I think I said my good things as well. Like, of course, the Tiki, the monkey slap fight. Is that monkey still alive? I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it later. This will shock you. I mean, if you did already know about her, but you know, and I say her because, of course, this is kind of a little bit of a shock.
I know it's a she because I looked at the cat and the monkey's name is Crystal.
Yeah. And we are stopping right here and diving on straight into the cast and characters.
Alright. So, Ben Stiller, of course, being the main cast. What are your thoughts about Ben Stiller when you first got introduced to him?
Being part of, being like the main character, and yes, what I did say before, he is a decent, he's a decent guy trying to be the best he can be to provide for his son, blah blah blah, finding a job, and what he didn't expect is, of course, the museum being alive. Very very reluctant to do so, but eventually holding on to it as good as he can, and it turns out to be just really awesome.
Right. And yeah, like one of the movies, of course, I got just to Ben Stiller, and I mentioned, of course, Madagascar, and I believe this film is how I got just to Ben Stiller or the whole, and the other was Meet the Fockers, but yeah, I'm not really entirely sure, but still, Ben Stiller is a pretty great actor. It's sad that he hasn't been in later movies, but he has been doing later commercials like that new Zero Pepsi commercial.
And just because somebody hasn't appeared in anything doesn't mean they're technically done unless they say so. But if you see the years acted still present and stuff, they're still doing great as they can.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything from the... Okay, well, I did mention that one part where he was just messing around with the PA system, and the scenes with Rexy and Dexter were hilarious. And of course...
I forgot about that PA system thing.
Yeah. But I just gotta say, just overall decent guy. All thanks to, Stiller's brand of awkward comedy, which is what he was known for.
Alright, next up is Robin Williams as Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, so this is technically how I got introduced to Robin Williams at first. And I gotta say...
Makes sense.
And I just gotta say, his portrayal of Theodore Roosevelt, it's pretty spot on when I did eventually learn much more about the president, and I was like, oh, whoa, this guy happens to be my most favorite president during the time. All thanks to him.
I bet you in a class like, who is this person? Theodore Roosevelt. How do you know? Night at the Museum.
Yeah, that's one way.
Yeah, and yeah, it's pretty sad that like the last Night at the Museum in 2014, which we'll get to that in a little while, is where Robert Williams died.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Robin portraying as Theo, he did really good. It's pretty funny. Like, remember that one scene where he was like posing his usual Frozen pose, and Larry's like, "Hey, are you there?" And he's like, "Bah!" And he's like jump scared him.
Of course, yes, and like even much more funnier when he was scaring him was when let's see, they were in let's see, yeah, they were in the tomb. Wait, let's see, what am I saying? Where he was trying to tell him about like how the museum comes to life, and he was just pointing his gun. He was like, "Oh, what is that?" And then, yes. But most interesting.
But yeah, Robin Williams is like one of the greatest ever, and yeah, not a lot of kids would know about Theodore Roosevelt unless they watch this movie, and when they get older, they'll like read in the books of how he became president and whatnot.
And most interesting enough is he became infatuated with Sacagawea, which is, yeah, I guess they really were like really meant for each other. He was just didn't know how to, when you know what to say at first, what to say, what to do.
So that's how you pronounce her name. I was wondering how you pronounced it. That Indian lady.
Yes. I mean, clearly, yeah. I mean, eventually, yes. Larry did have trouble pronouncing her name, but eventually, yeah, it was a running gag throughout the movie. But eventually, he did learn how to pronounce it right.
Man, there's other films I don't recognize besides the Night Museum franchise. Well, there's also like Scenes of the Crying, Case of You, and Almost in Love, but the others I don't recognize. It's just a weird different language. But yeah, the woman that portrayed her, she did pretty good. Although we didn't hear her speak because she's been behind a glass the whole time, and she was like inaudible. So. Well,
actually, she did speak. Like, she only spoke from her side, but from Larry's perspective, of course, she can't. Like he can't really hear her that because of the glass.
Right. And yeah, not until like towards the end of the film that Theodore broke her out.
And saved her life.
Right. And yeah, and we can actually hear her speak fully, which is pretty great.
And I just say, like, yeah, the actress who did play her, yeah, she's really great, and she's kind of beautiful as well. Yeah, I see why Theodore was really in love with her. Of course.
All right, next one is Jedediah Smith, aka Owen Wilson.
Yeah, okay, so I did have some, yeah, even though we did mention Cars, I was like, it was either Cars or this one. I'm guessing that it was Night at the Museum that I fully got introduced to Owen Wilson.
Alright, fair enough. So yeah, Jedediah Smith is, a really small character, and by small, I mean, Thumbelina size. Like, in his perspective, he's like a cowboy, is like made figurines and stuff. It's like, like a model train set, but with a lot of humans and stuff. And another side is, okay, you gotta help me out here, because it's been a while since I've seen the movie. Who's that guy in the gladiator outfit?
Yeah, I just said it, like, Octavius, and, like, if I am pronouncing it right, because it just, like, every time when I say his name, he just kind of reminds me of Doc Ock, because, Otto Octavius, but,
it's actually Octavian.
Really? Are you sure? Because I don't see any A and N after the I.
Well, according to the cast, it's Gaius Octavian.
Oh, really? Because I don't see anything from here.
Oh, must be screwing you up then.
No. Oh, let's see. I'm on Wikipedia. I'm on the Night at the Museum franchise. I'm just on the franchise. I just didn't click on any of the movies, but
Oh, okay.
no. See, nothing.
But okay, so Octavius then. So yeah. Anyway, of course we all know Owen Wilson is pretty great. We talked about that before, but the relationship between Jedediah and Octavius. Well, let's just say they're rivals, and by rivals I mean hatred rivals.
I mean, I think everyone knows what rivalry means, so.
Right. But yeah, they hate each other's guts. I forgot what reason specifically, but I'm glad, like, towards the end of the film, they actually started to become good friends.
Well, the reason why they were fighting is because, well, that's what they do. That's what men do. That's exactly what they said. And then, well, yes, what you just said about when they were like working together and became good buds, and I actually do like that. And I actually do like you're just different people from different origins, like whatever you are, you just coming together to be cool with each other. Yeah.
Right. Excuse me.
And let's see, and yeah, eventually the guy that did play him, Steve Coogan, I was really shocked to know, of course, him being in stuff like Despicable Me 2 as Silas Ramsbottom and that one cat.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that he was in Night in the Museum. Well, how about that?
Let's see, other stuff he's been in is like, let's see, yeah, The Other Guys and what was it? The Secret Life of Pets. Yeah.
Okay, and speaking of Despicable Me, there's gonna be a fourth one. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
And apparently he's gonna be in it, probably reprising his role as Ramsbottom.
Yeah, he is. Like, I'm looking at it right now.
Ooh. So I wonder how that's gonna work, because remember, he did retire in the third film, so is he gonna come back as, like, semi-retired or something? So how, interesting. Well, we'll see. But, yeah, back to the cast thing. Yeah, Steve Coogan playing as this character, he did pretty good.
He did, yes. All I could say. Just, let's see, other different ones. Okay, and now we get to, yes, Brad Garrett as the Easter Island head.
Yeah. Brad Garrett is the best. He's one of the greatest voice actors ever, and like one of the many ones how I got used to Brad Garrett. Of course, to my knowledge, I didn't know who he was, but yeah, I really like the deep voice he give him, like.
And yes, I enjoyed it too, and when I did like see him, I was like, oh, look at that, it's Squidward's house.
Yeah. Of course, without the windows or the door, and that being blue. And what I like the scene, there's one scene where like all the Night Museum characters are like arguing with each other, and it's like quiet.
And because like since Larry had just some serious stuff to say, it was very like helpful for him to do.
Yep. So yeah, of course, we all know Brad Garrett, besides this, has made Disney Pixar characters like Blow from
Finding Nemo?
Finding Nemo. I can't speak English today. But the point is, yeah, Brad voicing the EIH, he did a really good job. And yeah, I remember seeing the McDonald's commercial. Instead of a gum, it was a nugget, I believe.
Yeah, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
And that was for the second movie.
Yeah. Right. Cool. And yeah, Easter Island being part of the trilogy, and yeah, he's like one of the most favorite characters ever.
I'm gonna say by myself.
Alright. Alright, next one is Dr. McPhee, the guy who hired Larry, played by British actor Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, and yeah, what really did shock me is, of course, oh yeah, well, the most notable thing, I was like, okay, so this guy's voice kind of changed a little bit. Like when you first meet him, his kind of voice is kind of like much more higher, but when the next time you see him, it's a little bit lower from my perspective. But I just always enjoyed how humorous he could be, how strict and uptight, and of course, getting to know the dude, I just like his accent.
Yeah, me too. And like as a kid, I didn't know who he was, but I found out that he was the same guy that played in the second Muppets movie from Disney, Muppets Most Wanted. Like he's like one of the like the second main antagonist, and he also made a guest appearance of Family Guy voicing Billy Finn the dolphin.
I really seen some other ones. I do know that, yeah, he was in Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, and even though...
Right, you're right. He played the main antagonist, which he did a pretty good job.
Let's see. Yeah, okay, the Invention of Lying, also with Jonah Hill. Yeah, that I just discovered that one. Let's see, The Office.
He also appeared in an episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who as himself.
He was also on Sesame Street as well. But yeah, the guy's interesting.
Yeah, it's just his accent is so bizarre and stuff. Because of course, being British and stuff. And yeah, he's like one of my favorite British actors.
And now next is one of the many few instances I got to know about animals becoming actors themselves. Crystal the monkey. Yes, she's very well known for just appearing in multiple different other type of media, like George of the Jungle from Disney and The Hangover Part 2, Monkey Shines, Dr. Dolittle. Yeah, a whole book. She's just everywhere, and it's just shocking to know.
Wait, who are you talking about? Because you glitched out when you mentioned her name.
Oh, I was like, it won't matter because we got the recording. Crystal the monkey.
Oh, Crystal. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, of course, we all know her and the film. Like I mentioned, the slapping scene, and did she take his keys before?
Yes, like yes, twice, and yes, even though she is like known for playing like mostly males and junk. Yes, in this point, yeah, to keep it not really all that confusing much. Yeah, yes.
But that's so awesome. Despite her playing the opposite gender, she's still pretty recognizable. Like, it's crazy that she played Adam Sandler's character in Zookeeper. That's just pretty awesome.
Well, yeah. Even though she did play Adam Sandler's character, like he only did provide the voice.
Right. And apparently she's in Dick and Jane. I don't remember her being fucking in Dick and Jane. The Jim Carrey film. I don't know, but point is, yeah, Crystal the monkey, she's still pretty great. I'm impressed what she did throughout the film she's been, so I give her a 10.
And yeah, Infinity, because when I did see her in interviews, it's just adorable how it's like, seriously, you're talking to an animal and it's just like animal actors is just so bizarre and cool at the same time.
Yep, most definitely.
Okay, next up, oh yeah, my introduction to, yes, let's see, Akhman-Ra, like the Egyptian pharaoh played by Rami Malek.
I forgot he was in the first film.
Oh yeah, he did appear in all of them. Of course, like I mostly know him from, of course, Bohemian Rhapsody when he played Freddie Mercury.
Is that so? Interesting.
And I gotta say, yeah, Ahmed Ra, at first you expect him to be like some kind of like evil dude when he arrives from his tomb and he called off his Jackal guard buddies, and when he did unravel his raps, it discovered he's a pretty decent guy, and finding out that he does like own the tablets, and he just does his best to do whatever it is to, keep the tablet from being in the wrong hands.
Yeah. Because, like, certain characters you expect to be the villain, but you're glad there aren't. They're actually, like, trying to warn you something, and the guy that's actually your friend turns out to be the villain. It's kind of like those situations.
Yes. Good thing that he was on the good side. And and next up is Attila the Hun, played by some dude named Patrick Gallagher, and yeah.
Do you know?
Well, okay, and even though I'm not really familiar with some of his works, some of it is okay, well, in Captain Marvel, he was a security chief. In Downsizing Sideways, not really all that much.
Wow.
But Attila the Hun, about knowing he's one of the most fiercest warriors of all time, but to know that he's got a little bit of a sensitive side once,
Oh, he played that dude.
Yeah.
The guy, the Eskimo guy. Man, that
Hun.
guy was a character.
Yeah, he's a Hun, not an Eskimo.
Sorry, but man, was he a character.
Yeah, at first just a little bit of like anger issues to just want to tear Larry apart, but once Larry kind of like built up his origin, so to speak, he just kind of a little bit of a sensitive side and became much more sympathetic.
Yeah.
That's all really I gotta say.
Yeah, that's fine.
And now with the rest of the cast, so many few surprising ones. Like, this is how I got introduced to Mickey Rooney as Gus. You know, that old security guard that just hates Larry's guts. You remember that?
And sadly, he died in 2014.
Yes.
Now, he is like how do I get introduced to him? I don't remember, but I feel like I got introduced to something. But anyway, so I don't remember about the night guard, but apparently he's in one of the films he's been in is Fox and the Hound, apparently.
Wait, how did I miss that? Because I'm looking through and it's a television.
Because he plays a character named Todd.
Wait, we can't be thinking about Todd the Fox? Is that what we're thinking about? Because no, wait, or was it Cooper? I forgot which one was who.
Hang on a minute. Crap. Oh, thank God. Okay. Fox. And Hound. Oops. Yeah, the voice actors.
Oh, right, because during the time. Well, wait, but I can't be for sure. This was in 1981, and he was born in 1920s, so that would mean. Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
And he voiced Santa Claus in A Miser Brothers Christmas, which is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
He played himself in The Simpsons.
And of course, like he did play Santa also in what was it? Santa Claus is Coming to Town from. Yeah. From in the 70s. I remember watching that way back in kindergarten. I mean, no wait, what was it? Elementary school, and other stuff. Oh yes, Adult Todd from Fox and the Hound. Adult, right? Because well, it's just been some time. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, well I do know that he was like in this old movie that I watched one time called Boys Town when he was much younger. It was. I kind of liked it, like how he put some attitude and wisecracking in it.
But may he rest in peace. He was a great actor, even though some of these I didn't really see him in, but I still think he did a pretty good job in his early days.
I agree too. Let's see. Yeah, some of the other casts, which include like Paul Rudd as Don, as Erica's fiance, and I just gotta say, I guess this is technically how I got introduced to Paul Rudd. About aside from Ant-Man, and wow, it just shocked the mess out of me when I learned about it later on. And I was like.
Yeah, like, of course I wouldn't know him when I was little, but since you mentioned that, yeah, I didn't know that he was in that, of course, before it became real famous in the Ant-Man films, so that's how I really knew about him.
And another one was Charlie Murphy, and I was like, wait, is that Eddie? But I was like, because they both kind of like look the same, but knowing that it was his brother, that was like, well, it was great that he appeared as the taxi driver.
I think I know where I've seen Mickey Rooney from, in the Muppets 2011 film, because during the song Life's a... What's that song? How does the song go? Because it's been a while since I heard it, but he's like one of the extras that sing it. But yeah, apparently he was in the film.
Wait,
actually.
Wait. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Like it was from Life's a Happy Song, and
yeah, Life's a Happy Song. Yeah. And he sang one of the parts of the lyrics, so yeah, that's how I technically got introduced to him in person.
Because I remember way back when I was in middle school and me and my class went to the auditorium to watch the movie, and everyone was like had these like puzzled looks on their faces, and they were like amused when he sang like part of the song for some reason.
Wow. And remember at the end of the song, one of the guys like, okay, they're gone, and all of them collapse.
I don't.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, shocking that Paul Rudd is in the cast, and yeah. Who's next?
Well, that's mostly from my perspective. I'm mostly done with what I got. But I just gotta say, the Night at the Museum franchise has, in no doubt, one of the best casting, for anything in the whole world.
Yeah, of course. And a lot of kids would get introduced to these actors when they get the chance. So, yeah.
Okay, so as a whole, with the first Night at the Museum, yes, I give it infinity. I just adore everything about it. Just really, literally everything. Because this was, again, during the time where things were still great. And, well, I believe that things were turning out well for me, so to speak. And, well, what makes it more nostalgic is, well, when I stuck around at the end credits to that song by Keke Palmer, it was real nice. That's what made it.
What song is that?
I think it was the song called "Coming Alive with Me." I think.
But my score for the first film, part of my childhood, 10 out of 10.